There are a lot of roster battles that we're all going to be keeping our eye on as the Raiders head into training camp for 2024. And yes, there's a couple of easy ones that we'll get into the notes here, but there's a couple that you might not be thinking of, but that could have huge implications for this Raiders team, especially players that might need to step up or could even carve out roles that you might not have thought of. So the first one is obvious that we're looking forward to. It is the Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew battle here. Overall, yes, these two have been battling during all of the offseason program, and I think worst case, Aiden O'Connell, even if he struggles and Gardner Minshew goes in, like Minshew can win. We've seen it. I mean, they beat the Raiders last year, even though the Raiders, quite honestly, like Aiden O'Connell should have won that game. He should have made the plays as the starting quarterback to win the game, but it just didn't happen. And the Raiders have a good defense. They've got a coach that they're getting behind, and I think that if Gardner Minshew does need to come in, it is what it is. But Aiden O'Connell, I think he's got the tools to be the long-term answer at quarterback for the Raiders. I love his deep ball. I love his leadership ability, and I love his ability to throw the ball into tight windows. I think we saw that a couple of times last year with why, which is why I think he could be a really good player for the Raiders down the road. Number two, that I don't think a lot of people are really taking into consideration. So Zamir White versus Dylan L. It's a running joke with our show because it's Dylan Lauby. We can't say his last name. We apologize. We tried. But overall, Zamir White obviously is going to be that number one running back, but really, with what Dylan L has brought in during the offseason program, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, block, and also run up the middle and outside, I think he's going to be a fantastic fit in this offense, and I think he's going to give them yet another wrinkle to this offense that we haven't seen in a while, and I think it's just going to be so hard to pinpoint exactly where the Raiders are going on with the football, and I think that this is just going to help them out. Now, some of you might be asking, well, Colton, why not? What about Alexander Mattison? Well, Alexander Mattison is a very good number two running back, but Zamir White and Dylan L, they are going to be making the cases as to being the lead backs for the Raiders. I know Alexander Mattison had his shot with the Vikings. I don't even think he had a rushing touchdown last year. That says a lot when you're the number one guy and you don't punch it in. So I think that Dylan L has a better chance to challenge Zamir White, even though, yes, I love Amir Abdullah, but I think that this is going to be a huge position battle to watch during training camp. Number three, Malcolm Koonce versus Tyree Wilson. So right now, Malcolm Koonce is making a case for another contract with the Raiders. So 8 sacks last year, including, 3 or 4 in one game. Like, he truthfully is making a case to be that yin to Max Crosby's yang. We've seen it. He's developed very, very beautifully. We were standing on the table from him from the very first moment when he played 100 snaps and had 2 sacks in his rookie season. Didn't get the time of day in McDaniel's first year, but then came in this last year and blew the door off the hinges. And then, yes, Tyree Wilson, the former 7th overall pick in 2023. Yes, he's going to be a guy that is going to be given his opportunities, but really it comes down to who is going to get the job done. And everybody's been raving about Koonce, and they think that Wilson's coming along, but overall, Malcolm Koonce is going to be the surefire starter for now, but Tyree Wilson definitely could be challenging Koonce and maybe finding a way to get on the field as a defensive tackle, but we'll have to see. Number 4, Robert Spillane versus Tommy Eichenberg. So there's a reason that Tommy Eichenberg was dubbed as a guy that could be an all-rookie selection for the Raiders. I really, really like Eichenberg's ability to stop the run. I just have my reservations about him in the pass game. Obviously, in his range, I just don't think he's got the athleticism to be able to cover running backs out of the backfield in the NFL, as well as some of these smaller and shiftier receivers. But I think that you blanket it enough so where all he's got to do is cover the middle of the field, and you just don't put him on any running backs or wide receivers because it will not be good for you. But overall, Robert Spillane, yes, he did some really good things for your starting defense last year, but Tommy Eichenberg coming in, I think it's just great from a competition standpoint. Competition just brings out the best in all of us. Number 5, Thayer Munford versus DJ Glaze, Delmar Glaze there at right tackle. So, I mean, Thayer Munford, on all accounts, has been playing very well as the starting right tackle for the Raiders. But I think DJ Glaze, the 3rd-round pick coming up out of Maryland, I think his flexibility, but then also his athleticism are going to make a big case as to why he could make a push for the starting right tackle spot. If Munford goes down, if he's not playing well, Glaze could come in and really make a case for being the long-term guy at right tackle, and I'm very excited to see it. So I really think that the right side of this offensive offensive line. Yes, there's some questions about the interior, maybe a little bit, but we've been waiting for a starting right tackle for a little while with this offense, and I think that these two going at it to be the starters, I think it's the best case scenario you have right now on this roster. And then number 6, and finally, is the battle at right cornerback. So this is really largely more about the secondary as a whole. Like, we've made a case for, Trey Taylor coming in at safety. We love Trayvon Moehrig, but I mean, Jack Jones is your starting left corner right now. Like that's just is what it is. The question is, who's going to start at right cornerback? Is it going to be DeCameron Richardson? Who is going to come in and just be the guy for the Raiders? And I think that there's a lot of guys that you're keeping an eye on. I think that Jacorian Bennett could be in the mix there. I think Devonshire, Nate Hobbs is probably going to stay in the slot, so I don't necessarily see him making that jump there. Brandon Faceson is another guy. But really, there's going to be a lot of competition at right cornerback. Who is going to be starting there? Who is going to be the guy and help out the rest of the secondary? But overall, a lot of battles, a lot of things going on, a lot of guys going to be carving out roles for themselves as we head into training camp. But hey, let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let us know what you guys think about our latest Raiders training camp battles that we'll be keeping an eye on.